So this will look like just a normal frame, but this is actually me a couple hours later. Let's go over what I have done in those few hours, because it's not, I didn't do nothing. All right, so let's actually move this for now to screen 1. Okay. So let's see where we're at. Okay. So really not much has happened in terms of like actual code. It's been all configuration stuff. The main reason that I'm doing that is because I'm going step by step. I realized I've been too dependent on React and the app creating that structure for me before I actually ever messed around with making my own structures or seeing what was actually necessary from that creation. So in the web app, this is just a normal React application. Everything here is pretty basic. So in this one though, since I didn't create the React app, I actually had to initiate the package.json, the tsconfig, and that's what I was looking at right now. Here in this one, because I'm using TypeScript, I put the type module here, and then I put this information here to be able to run TypeScript. That wasn't done in this package, and I'm wondering why that's the case. I'll probably ask that here in a quick second. But really, that's the main thing I've done. Then in the last video, I did create these server types. Now, the only thing I added was inter-server events and socket data, because apparently it does come with the package. And I had even copied and pasted that and didn't realize when I copy and pasted this from the Socket.io website. So inter-service and socket data, I guess this comes with a server, and we need to make those as types. The second thing I did was import these types, because I didn't know you needed to import types in order to call them. So this was a learning lesson here, and it wouldn't let me use the React at, like the @ symbol, because this isn't a React setup. So that all makes sense. But we have TS configured on both. Our real-time package setup is now coherent. In package.json, we updated the type so that that can run, and we did add the scripts and deps as well. Shared interfaces. So we shared the interfaces. So now the everything can read those interfaces, which is good. We can have types. We have correct imports. We pass the type check. All right, now what's next? In server.ts, set up socket IO cores for web origin, and keep real-time server on different port. All right, so start off with step 1. So we need step 1 is configuring our cores in your real-time server. Why this is needed: your browser, app, web, and real-time server, app, real-time run on different origins, so different ports. The ports are those when we do npm run and it has the local 3000 or 9000. Okay, that was a Dragon Ball joke. Okay, web origin usually, yeah, explains right here. Since we're gonna have the web app and the real time running at the same time, we want them running on 2 different things, but we want to let that know. So when you open server, find where you create your, okay. Stop rambling. What to do now? Decide your local origins first. Web app origin usually 3000, okay. Open server.ts, find where you create the socket.io server instance, new server. Change that initialization so it includes a config options object. In that options object, add a core restriction, allowed origin, set to your web application origin. Exactly. Allow methods include request methods used by the handshake polling, at least get and post. Credentials set based on auth strategy. If you're not using cookie session auth yet, keep it off. If using cookie-based auth later, turn it on. Okay. Okay. So let's go to where it's talking about. So we're going to server TS. Let's close this, and then we got this from the website. So I think this part is somewhat correct. So let's go take a look. So this is saying listen to 3000. Here it's talking about options, and what did this say? Change. So we need to include config option. Where do any of these examples? Okay. Oh. So maybe I could basically do this. I could make like a little dictionary thing. I think that's what I need to do. If I were to just take a guess here. A complete, what the heck? We gotta download this? Oh. Okay, sorry, okay. Nice. Yes, it's exactly like I thought. So, what did we need from here? Origin. In that options object, add a core section. Add a core section. Yep, this is it. Okay. So let's go here. what is this HTTP server thing here? Oh, here it is. I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. Okay, so this is talking about the server. Okay. So I hate this. I hate that this is like this. So we're gonna serve 3000, I guess, with 2001. 3000. And then what do we need to do? So we want to be right here with it. Okay. I don't think that matters, but just good to try to keep the syntax somewhat. Origin. So we need our local, whatever the local thing is here. We haven't been using this right now because we're still on like step 3 since forever. So npm run. We can't run in there. So when you go to web, because yeah, it didn't even make sense. Why was I trying to run in that? I need to run specifically this one to get this one. So let's go. I'm gonna take this. So this is on level 3000. Perfect. Now we also need to take one other thing, and I guess I need to figure out how to set this page to 3001. Go back to our instructions. What were we supposed to do again? All right. Allowed origin, set your web page origin exactly. Method. Okay, so we need methods here as well. So method should be in the server options here. I see. So there's no methods option because it's part of the core's module. Okay. So it's going to be something like this. And then we want to grab this. And then it's going to be, yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so what's the next step? Credential set based on, okay, we don't have that. Make sure your real-time server listens on a different port than Next.js. All right, let's try to Google that first. So I think I'm the one who determines it. So the other one's on 3000, so we want it to be 3001. So this the server we're creating here is 3001. Okay. I think that's it. I see. Very interesting as well. Okay, so this is our connection handler here. Good to know. It literally says it, but good to know. We don't need this because when we initialize the server with this call here, it doesn't need the IO listen was basically doing that twice. So in this example where we do standalone, that's why they do it, because they don't have that, because we're doing the 3000 here. And then that's the other question I had. We know that our app runs on 3000. How do we make sure that this server runs on a different port? It's that way, the 3001. And the origin is 3000. I guess that's how we specify an origin for, like, hey, we want to listen to 3000, but we are coming from 301. Okay. And this is our connection handler, which is important to know because every time this is called, or every time someone connects to the page, this will be called. So this will be probably a place we could get some information. Cool, that makes sense. Log that socket is connected. What to put? Okay. Okay, so I could do something like console.log socket connected. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and then what else do I need to do? Include the ID in that log.id. Is it that easy? I didn't even look. Okay, yeah, so we could just call it like this. Cool. We could pass the events. Okay. Okay, so we'll just grab this. So yeah, we could just put the event we're gonna call these events. Okay. And here we can just log console.log. Same thing. Okay, perfect. 4. All right, so it looks like that's all we need to do where we're at right now. Now we're logging. So this is what's getting the connection. We're checking the socket. We're going to be able to log the current socket, and then we can throw an event to disconnect, or once there's a disconnect, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and close this. Oh, I didn't do that again. And let's just run. Yep, so we're back on 3000. To be running both. Gosh, dang it. Nice. Okay, so that's what's supposed to happen there. That's what's happening here. Very exciting stuff. Nothing. It's not saying anything. Nope. Okay, but what we'll do for now is. Whoa. I like that it tells you how to quit right away. And I do remember there was an update, so maybe that's what that update was about. Okay. So let's go ahead and quit this. Okay. Okay, so we gotta install that. Is correct. So last time I did this, I did it a different way. And I don't know if I should do it that way. And I did like with an I here. So it wants a test component, so we'll just call it test component. Dot. If it's client. I'm just gonna go TS. Yeah, it has to be a TSX, I think, because it is a React thing. So let's try that. Let's go here, and then it wants me to mark it as client. Okay. So we're not gonna push that right now. Okay, now we're caught up. Okay, so this is going back into what we should be actually pretty comfortable with because it's React and just our connections and stuff like that. So we do have, here it is. We do have how to use React from the socket.io. So let's see if this is starting to make more sense now. So we have our components, connection manager, connection state. Okay, so I think all I need to do here is this. So oh no, I don't even need to do that because I could export the const. I didn't remember that. That's very good. So I can just export socket. Okay. And for this, I think we just need to change that to 3001. Okay. So okay, and then what we're going to do is actually just copy this. This use effect here, because I think we need that. Uh-oh. Why is my stuff not fixing itself? I guess it did. We don't need this one. Yeah, so what we're trying to do here, so we should do a return. And then we kind of want to probably print some of the stuff out. How to do this? No, I think we just need to do the div. Load it in like that. Let's go class name. Okay. And then we need to import that as well. Import. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and import this. Import. Perfect. And then here, we have to kill all these every time. I wonder why this happens. I can stop. I should ask that very soon. Okay, so that's running. We're running there clean as well. Let's go ahead and open it. Explosion. Use effect is not defined. I see. I did forget to do that. Okay. I forget the thing that makes you go all the way to the top. You remember that. It's very important. What? You saved it. Oh. That's hurtful. It's hurtful. Okay. So here's where I'm logging from that file. Very cool. So I'm doing socket and it's doing a disconnect as well. And if we just go to, so what we needed to do this was IO client. How is it communicating with, how is it communicating with, so we have the web app open here, our server here. Then we are using a client. We're importing the IO socket IO. And then we're looking at this location here. We're passing that socket to our IO URL just for the socket IO client. So we're creating our client right now in this process. And then on connect, on disconnect. What's up? Wait. It's in my log. What's up? There. Okay. So now things are starting to make sense. We create a server. We have to be running that server, which is the constant IO new server. We turn it on, and then in the connection handler, we can basically check anything, and it connects a number of times to the socket. Connected. So a bunch of connections, different sockets. I wonder why. No disconnects unless we completely disconnect. Okay. So it wants me to do one disconnect, one connect. And it's this line that is what controls it. Okay. All right, so this is making sense. But every time you get the answer, it does make sense. So what we need to do is go We'll leave that here. We're gonna grab this. We're gonna put that here. All right, on connect. We're gonna do all this once. And the only time we'll do this is if it's disconnected. So then what we're gonna do here is call false here. And then here we're not gonna do socket ID, just leave it as blank for now. Perfect. And then what it recommended is I do like some state here. We'll set it as 0 for now. And then here on connected, set ID. And we'll do and then here's where we'll do that. So ID1. And we could put like and then we wanted to add the connected disconnected as well, so we could maybe do that this year. Yes, I actually should just be able to it's gonna be why wouldn't it show? Okay, and then we should be able to see this change real quick because I'm just gonna reload it. Nice. Just once every time. Okay, so that's looking good. So we need a disconnect. What does that mean? Don't we disconnect here? Maybe I could look it up on React. Like how to disconnect socket IO. So I just do like socket.disconnect, literally. Okay, so let's see here. How many steps do we have? 11. Okay. Implement join room flow, implement join room event. Server adds user socket to room. I'm so glad I'm doing this like mini project because I have a bigger project I'm supposed to do, and look at how many steps this has. So, okay, so server adds user socket. So our server is this. Adds user socket to room. So we could probably add a bunch of functions here. So like I'm guessing we could do something like add user socket to room, something like that. And then what is the other one? All right. Track. Honestly, we just need all these little things on it. So just grab these. And then paste. Got that one. Right. Why am I struggling so much with this? Why don't these feel like lined up? Oh, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So server add socket to add user. This is the server we don't need to know. Okay, so we need to add user socket to room, track in-memory room members, emits present snapshot to user, to new user, emits user join to others. Okay, so I actually know what this means. the emits, this is like a call. So this is like a method we can call. So I'm gonna remind myself that. Remember. Okay. So if I can get their presence in the room, I can get all the details and tell that to people. I'm getting a temperature warning. Ooh, this baby's warm. Okay, so the good thing is that's where we're gonna stop right now. We're not gonna move on to step 4 just yet. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe this will be a part 1 and 2, because part 1 was just scaffolding the project, explaining what we're doing. Part 2 has really been connecting the server and all that. And you know what? I'm going to do an ending. So thanks for watching. Just in case I do end it here and make another series, I'm going to just be pumping these out. So